Hey plant friends, thanks for being here. And today I have an unboxing video to share with you guys. I ordered some plants from a company called Aroid Market based out of Indonesia. I ordered the plants back in December towards the end of the month, and I received it in February 14th of this year. This is the first time I've ordered from them, and I was actually very happy with what I got. They packaged the plants really well. So it came to the US like this and sat in LA for about 4 days. They inspect everything. They actually open up the box and inspect the plants to make sure there are no pests in there, and then they sit there for a couple of days to quarantine before sending it out. So Aroid Market ships all their plants this way with cold protective packaging, and then you have the filling inside to protect the plants. So I have 4 plants in here, and the very first one is the Pictum, Aglaonema Pictum tricolor, and this has been on my wish list for a long time. And this plant was actually free because Aroid Market was having a sale in December, which was buy one get one free, and you get the choice of either the Pictum tricolor or the Philodendron melanochrysum. And since this one has been on my wish list for a while, I went with this one. And you can see how gorgeous those leaves are. They have that camo pattern to them, and they actually feel a little bit velvety, not too much, but it does feel different from other aglaonemas that I have. And I love how the edges of the leaves are serrated too. So I'm just gonna unwrap the roots just to check how they're looking. The problem with these long shipments from exporting from other countries is there's a chance that they might get root rot during the travel. But the tissue that they're wrapped in actually didn't feel too soaked. It was still slightly damp, which was nice considering they came all the way from Indonesia. But hopefully it wasn't too cold or anything like that. So the roots actually looked really nice. They looked healthy, and they're all still white. There's actually a good amount of them, as you can see here. And as with all the plants that I get, whether they're exported from another country or not, I'll eventually wash the roots off as well as the leaves before I put them in water. And then the next plant is an Anthurium crystallinum red stem, and this is the biggest one of the 4 plants that I ordered, I believe. I'm just trying to be careful unwrapping them, just because in the past I've accidentally ripped a leaf just taking the paper off of them. So there are 2 big leaves on this plant, and they looked really healthy. I was kind of worried about this because sometimes anthuriums don't travel too well, but I was really amazed with how nice they looked, and that they actually did really well traveling across the world. The roots looked a little bit dry. I'll definitely be snipping off some parts of it, the ones that are more brown and limp. But otherwise, it actually looked pretty healthy. And then the next plant that I have is the Philodendron paraiso verde. And I have actually just recently added this to my wish list, so it's not one of those that I've been wanting for a long time. But every time I saw a picture of it online, it just looked so pretty and I wanted to have it. And this one is actually still kind of a baby. I know that the leaves get pretty big on these guys, but I think the one that I ordered is still pretty juvenile. So yeah, it came with 4 leaves, and this one is yellowing, so I'll probably end up just cutting that off since it'll end up dying anyway. The other 3 leaves look pretty healthy. This one has a little bit of damage, but that's okay. It's still healthy. This plant did look seem pretty limp, but I think it's just kind of dehydrated. So let's see what the roots look like, because this one might actually need to go in water pretty quickly. So at the end of the video, I'll actually be telling you guys how much each plant cost and how much the total was for the whole order, because the only thing about ordering from Indonesia is you do have to pay for phytosanitary certificate, and the shipping is a lot more expensive. That is compared to like when I ordered from Ecogenera, the shipping was pretty cheap, and then I didn't have to pay for a phytosanitary certificate. So the roots on this, like I had suspected, were really dry. The tissue itself was dry. So some of them are gonna have to be snipped off because they're just not gonna come back. But it does have some healthy roots that should be able to sustain the plant. And lastly, this one has been on my wish list for a while, and it's the Philodendron Florida Ghost. And I got the medium size of this one, that's why it said M. So it will come with some mature leaves on it. And the plant actually looked beautiful, like no damage whatsoever. It wasn't limp or anything. And there were so many leaves that it came with, and the variegation on this one was just so pretty, and the leaf itself was pretty big compared to my hand. So this one kind of has that minty looking variegation to it. And this is the newest leaf that it has. Yeah, I was really happy with this one. So I guess I'll tell you guys now how much one cost. So starting with this Florida Ghost, this one was $42. And then the paraiso verde was $45. The Anthurium crystallinum was $64 because that I had ordered the big size of that one. And then the Aglaonema pictum tricolor was free, but it was originally $35. The phytosanitary certificate was $30, and then shipping was $40. So all in all, after taxes, the total came out to $221 altogether, which, if I'm not mistaken, based on how much these plants cost nowadays, if you were to buy them in the US, it would probably be $200 would probably be for like 1.5 or 2 of those plants alone. I would say the total for each one is probably, or total for all 4 if I were to buy them here in the US, would probably be like close to $500 or $600. maybe even more depending on where you buy them from. And some of them aren't even as big as as the plants that I got. So the Florida Ghost's roots, a lot of them were pretty dried out and brown. So I'm actually gonna snip some of them off and just clean it up. I'll keep the longer, lighter looking roots because those are still healthy. But it should be okay because the plant itself is really healthy. And then here you can see there are so many, like inside, there are so many growth points too that are coming out. So I went ahead and washed all the plants and cleaned off the roots. And put them in water with, well, I did spray the roots down with a mixture of water and hydrogen peroxide before putting them in these jars. I'm just gonna have them in water and let them grow some water roots. And I washed all of them just to make sure that there are no bugs lingering, because I don't want to be spreading that with the rest of my plants. So yeah, they all look very healthy. And this piece of the stem from the Anthurium I did take off because it was a bit squishy. So that's not good anymore, but it should be okay. And here's the paraiso verde. And I did cut off that yellowing leaf like I said I was going to. And I think there was another smaller ones, and I cleaned up the roots a bit too. So yeah, here are the two leaves that I cut off. The other one was just a small one. And then lastly is the Aglaonema. Now it does hang a little bit, but I'm pretty sure it'll straighten itself out once it's acclimated to my environment and once it's gotten some sun. Now the water that I put them in, I did put some Clonex in it just to help them grow some roots faster. And it's also going to help them acclimate to my environment a lot faster too. So those are all the plants that I got from Aroid Market, and I was really happy with this order. I don't know if you guys would want to try ordering from them in the future, but they do have some incredible prices. But like I said, you do have to pay for a phytosanitary certificate and shipping. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss any future videos from me. Bye!